Welcome to this very first reading of The Cocoon. The beautiful illustrations are by the amazing Meg Rivoli. Once upon a time, there was a small caterpillar. The caterpillar lived under a large, glorious green leaf. In his world was a tree, a bush, his little leaf home, and the massive land of grass where he would travel every day. On his path, he would often see a few friends, the ant brothers, Mrs. Bunny, and his favorite friend, Mr. Bee. The ant brothers weren't very chatty. They were always hard at work and wouldn't reply at all to Caterpillar's excited greeting. That didn't bother Caterpillar. He just went about his way, quite content. Mrs. Bunny was always very excited and cheerful, but she moved too quickly for more than a quick, joyful hello. Mr. Bee, however, would take time to talk with Caterpillar. He always seemed to have magical stories of far-off places, colors, and creatures. Caterpillar was quite sure Mr. Bee simply had a good imagination, talking of such things beyond his home of leaf, tree, and grass. Of great lands, full of more trees than he could count, giant rocks larger than anything he could imagine, and creatures of all shapes and sizes. Caterpillar played along, listened, and enjoyed his far-fetched stories. What an imagination Mr. Bee had. Caterpillar loved his world of green and brown. Every so often on days when the grass swayed as if it were dancing, he could see peaks of blue between the giant tree leaves above. Every day was the same. Caterpillar was very happy and content. One morning when Caterpillar awoke, the world felt different. The tree's leaves had fallen to the ground. The peaks of the blue sky were giant holes of gray he had never seen. He made his way on the brown path, crawling above and below obstacles of huge fallen leaves, only to find the grass and leaves sparse and withered. Caterpillar was scared. He didn't see any of his friends. He was cold for the first time, so he went back to his leaf, making his way through the giant leaves that now blocked his once well-known path. He made a cocoon to keep himself warm and safe, and that is where he stayed for a very, very long time. In his cocoon, Caterpillar felt safe. There was no changing of the sky or obstacles in his path. He knew what to expect every day. He was content knowing that every day would be the same. Every day and every night, Caterpillar was safe in his cocoon. One day, after a very long time, a hole opened in the cocoon wall. A very small hole. But just that small hole let in a light that changed the darkness inside forever. Caterpillar was confused. This was something new, yet something familiar. But he didn't know if it was safe. He tried to cover up the hole, but that didn't work. He tried to ignore the light that illuminated his small cocoon, but that didn't work either. Caterpillar didn't know what to do. This went on for quite a while. Days went by with this little light shining in. Caterpillar tried to go about his cocooning, but he became more and more curious. One day he decided to peek out of the hole. He couldn't see much, but he heard something familiar. Mr. Bee buzzing around. Mr. Bee, Caterpillar whispered, still a bit timid about peeking outside his cocoon. Mr. Bee had very keen senses and headed toward the cocoon straight away. Caterpillar, my friend, is that you? Why, yes, Mr. Bee, I'm in here. Mr. Bee peered into the small hole. Caterpillar, I missed you. Come out and play. It's a glorious day. Oh no, I like it in here, Mr. Bee, but I'm very glad to see you. I'm happy to see you. Happy spring, my friend. What is spring? Asked Caterpillar. Well, spring is a season, a time to turn the page, to create something new, a coming of age. Oh, I'm fine just where I am. It's comfortable here. It's safe and dark and nothing to fear. I know just what to expect. It's all very clear. Okay, said Mr. Bee. It was wonderful to see you. I will come and visit you again tomorrow. Bee continued to visit Caterpillar each day through the very small hole in his cocoon. He would share stories of forests, meadows, and mountains. He would tell Caterpillar about the many creatures roaming about. Caterpillar sure enjoyed those tall tales. He couldn't understand how Mr. Bee could imagine such wild things. Even though he couldn't believe such stories, Caterpillar did start to wonder about what it was like outside of his cocoon. Was the sky that little patch of blue again? Or was it that gray that scared the leaves right off the tree? What about his giant land of peaceful, swaying grass? Was the path clear or full of those fallen leaves? The thought made him want to stay in his cocoon. Then Caterpillar wondered if something good was out there. What if something magnificent was waiting for him past where the light shined in? He wanted to go out and see Mr. Bee, but he was scared. The next day, Mr. Bee came around and told Caterpillar about the wildest place he dreamed up yet. He called it the garden. Caterpillar enjoyed the story so much and was getting slightly concerned about Mr. Bee's sanity. Surely a place of colorful things like flowers and creatures of all shapes and sizes could never exist, for Caterpillar only knew green, brown, a bush, a tree, and a small area of grass and leaves which he believed to be the entire world. After his story, Mr. Bee asked, "Are you coming out today, my friend?" Mr. Bee asked the same question every day, patiently waiting for Caterpillar's answer to change. Today, instead of the regular answer of, "I'm fine just where I am," Caterpillar simply said, "I'm scared to leave, Mr. Bee." Mr. Bee wished he could hug Caterpillar through the tiny cocoon hole. Instead, he just said, "There would be no courage without fear, and you, my friend, are courageous." "Me?" said Caterpillar. "Oh yes," said Bee. "You've been in there for such a long time. You must have such inner strength. You crawled over and through all of the tree leaves when they fell. Those obstacles made you strong. And you let the light in. Why, you're my hero, Caterpillar. I look forward to seeing you every day. I tell anyone that will listen about my friend who built a place to keep himself safe and peaceful all winter long, and how someday I hope they can meet you. There's so much goodness waiting for you out here." It was a bit shocking to see himself through Mr. Bee's eyes. And what Mr. Bee gave Caterpillar was just a little faith. The tiniest spark was all he needed to ignite his brilliant, brave heart. As Caterpillar emerged from his cocoon, it was such a sight. He was no longer a caterpillar. He took flight. A butterfly emerged from the cocoon, you see. The trials and challenges grew him into more he thought he could be. And what happened next was amazing to discover, for the lands Mr. Bee talked about were real beyond measure. Beyond his leaf home, the grassy knoll and giant tree, was a land bigger than any caterpillar could imagine. His world of green and browns was transformed into every color. From the leaf and the tiny path taken every day, now vast mountainscapes, winding streams, and rivers stretched out. Butterfly could fly into a sky that was bigger than he could have ever imagined. Best of all, he got to see his friends again and meet so many new ones. Now, instead of just a quick hello, Butterfly could keep up and play with Mrs. Bunny as she romped through the meadows and mountains. How exciting to meet her new baby bunnies! Butterfly discovered that the ant brothers were two of so many. They all worked so very hard. Butterfly's hellos now got to be ignored by so many new friends. Best of all, Butterfly and Mr. Bee now had adventures together and told their stories to new friends. They fluttered and buzzed in their favorite land of the garden, exploring flowers of every color, shape, scent, and size. Butterfly's world was bigger and more beautiful than he could have ever imagined. The world wasn't the same every day. He was strong enough to embrace the sun and the storms. Some days he loved to adventure with his friends. Some days he went off to make discoveries on his own. He never knew what new things he would see or what new friends he would make. Best of all, he discovered that he didn't need to retreat into a cocoon anymore, because he found that stillness and peace are always within him whenever he needs. Can you close your eyes and take a few deep breaths? Feel that peace and calm within you, too, where you are always safe and always connected to the love, courage, and strength you need to achieve anything you can dream of, or maybe discover goodness beyond anything you could have imagined. And now you too can meet any obstacles and let them make you stronger. Now you can know that all you need is within you now. This beautiful story again was illustrated by the amazing Meg Rivoli. You could read about how we met and a little bit about our story in the back, as well as all the resources and Mindset Master books to support you, your family, schools, teaching mindset skills so you could remember the light within.